In today's YouTube video, we're taking a look at the top 5 meta guns you guys should be using here within Season 5. There is a plethora of guns to choose from here to run in Season 5, but these are definitely going to be the best ones which you guys should be having on your loadouts. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like for the algorithm, subscribe with all notifications turned on, and let's hop into this. The first gun we're taking a look at here today is going to be the Cast-Off 7.62. So the Cast-Off 7.62 is an incredibly hard-hitting assault rifle. You can build out a variety of ways. You can build it out to be super good for long range, that medium-ish range, which I do believe personally it excels at a little bit more, but this is a fantastic AR to use here this season, and it is undoubtedly one of the hardest hitting true assault rifles in the assault rifle category in Warzone at the moment. I think anyone that runs this is gonna have a great time using it in Warzone. So let's get here and break down my build here for you guys. This is gonna be what I'm running on my Cast-Off 7.62. First thing is gonna be the TY-LR8. This can help us out that horizontal recoil control. This gun definitely likes to bounce around side to side here a little bit, so this is really gonna help us out here quite significantly when we're trying to build this gun and make it effective at those medium-ish range. Not super long range, but like, you know, medium-ish ranges to long. The tune that here is gonna be all the way maxed out for that recoil stabilization and a plus 0.16 there on the bottom, strictly focusing on that recoil control. Now we're gonna go up in here and we're gonna run the IG-K30 406mm barrel. So this is gonna help us out that recoil control once again, and also increase our bullet velocity. We don't really care about that movement speed decrease or the aim down sight speed decrease. We really only care about making this gun more effective at longer distances, and that's exactly what this barrel does. The tune that's gonna be a plus 0.23 and a minus 0.22. Now we're gonna go down here and we're gonna run the 40 round mag. So this is gonna be one of the only downsides here to the Cast-Off 7.62 is that it only has a 40 round mag as opposed to like a 50 or a 60. I am a 60 round mag kind of guy, so I prefer that, but the 40 round is gonna be all right. Now we're gonna go back here and we're on the Demo X2 grip. So that increase in recoil control, once again, a lot of your assault rifles are gonna be built out to be better for recoil control. So this is something I'd recommend you guys be able to have. The tune that's gonna be a plus 0.84 and a plus 0.36. And now for our final attachment, we're gonna go up in here and we're gonna run the Cronin Mini Pro. So this is gonna be our go-to sight on this gun. I mean, just you guys could probably even go over here and run something like the AMOP V4 if you really wanted to, but the Cronin Mini Pro just works out really nicely. It definitely kind of makes you stay towards that mid-range, which this gun actually excels at quite a bit. And so I'd highly recommend that. And the tuning on the sight's gonna be a minus 0.98 and all the way close there. Just gotta bring that red dot sight a little bit closer to us. It actually works out a little bit better. I've been switching it up from far to close. I kind of like it a little bit more so, but the bottom section doesn't really matter. It's a little bit personal preference of what you want to do, but that's my full Cast-Off 7.62 build. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the MP5, aka the Lockman sub here in this season. This is a really solid submachine gun. It's probably the fastest TTK one at close range for that, like up to that 10 meters. Like, you're going to be taking people out faster than anything else in the game. So this is something, if you're going to be getting those close quarters engagements on Vondel or something like that, or Ashika Island, this is literally the quintessential SMG for you guys to be running. And you can run it a variety of different ways, to be honest with you, but I got a pretty top tier premium build that I think you all are going to love. So here's my general overview for this gun as of right now. This is kind of what I'm running on it. First thing is going to be the L38 Falcon barrel. This kind of doesn't change no matter how you're running this gun, but this gives us that increase in movement speed and aim down sight speed, which is huge. We're trying to make this gun incredibly fast and mobile at close range, as that's, you know, what it's designed for. The tune on this is going to be a minus 0.21 and a plus 0.25 on the bottom. Now we're going to go over here. We're going to run the 1MW quickfire laser. So aiming down sights is just crucial, or it's just quintessential in any close quarters engagement to be able to be as effective as you can be. Unless you got like a canted laser or you have a hipfire build, you have to be able to ADS. The tune on this is gonna be minus 0.16 and a minus 21.39. Now we're gonna go down here. We're actually gonna run the 9mm hollow point round. So I've seen people talking about this a little bit more, so I tried it out for myself and I realized this was actually really good, but it basically disables their sprint for a short time, which can be really nice when people are trying to run away from you, and it's actually really annoying when you play against it. So I definitely recommend trying it out. The tune that's gonna be a plus 0.59 and a plus 3.19 there on the bottom. Now we're gonna go down here. We're gonna run that 40 round mag. So I personally have dabbled back and forth between the 40 and the 50 round mag here quite a bit, but you guys could kind of go for either or. Keep in mind though that the 50 round mag is going to make you a tad bit slower, and the 40 round mag should in theory be enough. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're playing solos, duos, trios, squads. You're going to be all right with that 40 round mag, but 50 is definitely really awesome, and I've had great success with that as well. So personal preference on that one. For our last attachment though, we're gonna go back here and run the Mir Recoil-58 factory stock. This gives us that aiming stability, recoil control, and something we really like, which is sprint speed, making us overall faster here with this gun. And this is just a great attachment overall. I've seen a lot of people run it, tried it out for myself, and I was like, yep, this is definitely really solid. The tune on that before my slider started going crazy is a minus 1.71 and a minus 1.63. But that is my full build there for the Lockman sub. Hope you guys enjoy that one. Next up, we're taking a look at a 0 recoil assault rifle here this season. That is going to be the Tempest Razorback. If you build this thing right, you're literally going to have 0 recoil with it, and it's incredibly effective at those medium to longish ranges as a result. So I'd highly recommend you guys actually try the Tempest Razorback out. It's one of those guns you don't see too many people using, but when you build the right way, you're going to be able to see even by these clips here that it has 0 recoil, and it's a very easy assault rifle to be able to use. So let's hop into the build for it. So here's my general overview for this build right now. First thing on here is actually going to be the Harbinger D20. So we got to increase that sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness. This is definitely something we want to be able to do here. A lot of people trying to go for like a compensator of some sort, but the Harbinger D20 actually works out a little bit better here for this particular build. The tune on that's going to be a plus 1.08 and a minus 0.35. Now we're going to go up in here and we're on the 16 Tanker-V barrel. Got to increase that recoil control and increase our bullet velocity. Pretty much does the same exact thing as that barrel on the Kastov 7.62. But the tune on that's going to be a plus 0.13 and a plus 0.12. You don't, normally speaking, ever tune your assault rifles for like ADS speed, aim walking speed. It's always kind of geared towards recoil control, stuff like that. Now we're gonna go down here, and this is gonna be an interesting one. So the DM Proto grip. So this is the grip that is literally the very last one in this category right here. You have to go all the way down to the end to be able to get it, but it is definitely the best one to be able to run on this gun, and it is specific to the Tempest Razorback to my knowledge. So aiming idle stability, horizontal recoil control, and recoil stabilization, that's what helps make this gun incredibly easy to be able to use. The tune on this is going to be a plus 0.31 and a plus 0.25. Now we're going to go down here and run the 60 round mag. So like I said, I'm a 60 round mag kind of guy. And when I have the option, I'm going to go for a 60 round mag, or the larger magazines, generally speaking, for an assault rifle. Maybe not if it's like a 100 round mag, you know, for something like for something like way back in Verdansk, we had the Kilo 141, which had the 100 round drum. We didn't go for that. We went for that 60. But the case in point goes right here. We're going to go for the largest one, which is the 60 round mag. Now for our final attachment, we're going to run the AIM Op V4. So this is just such a great sight to be able to run. Super easy, and I do happen to have a skin on it, so I do happen to have that green dot. I have a bunch of different AIM Op V4 variants just because of bundles I bought, so it's nice to be able to switch that out and get away from that red dot specifically. The tune on this is going to be a minus 0.58 and only maxed out for that far distance, though you guys could definitely change it to bring it to close if you really wanted to. It's kind of up to you, personal preference on that. That's my full build there for the Tempest Razorback. All right, next up, we have to talk about one of my personal favorite SMGs to run this season, which is going to be the Vel 46. This is a gun that got virtually no love for the first like 5 seasons of the game, and it really wasn't used all that much. But this thing is a close range monster, great mobility, easy to control recoil. It is incredibly fun to be able to use here in this season, and I'm so glad it's actually usable, because it's one of those guns that, you know, you saw it was decent on the ground loop, but now it's actually really good on ground loop and really good as an actual loadout gun. So I got a banger build for you guys to be able to drop, you know, high kill gameplays with. All right, so here's my overview for this gun. Now let's actually get right on into it. So first thing is going to be the 4.6 millimeter frangible rounds. This temporarily delays their healing, so that can be pretty crucial when you're trying to like track people down, especially on Vondel. I mean, anything like disables like healing, sprinting, anything else like that can be really useful. The tune of that's going to be plus 0.50 and a minus 5.52. Now we're going to go up in here and run the 1MW quickfire laser to increase our ADS speed. We did the same thing with the Lockman sub. We're doing it here for this. You're definitely going to be ADSing with this build here. I mean, it's aimed to be like very fast, agile, and ADS fast. That's our goal. The tune of that's going to be minus 0.24 and a minus 34.55. Now we're going to go down here and run the 50 round mag. So this is not one of those times where I'm going to go for the largest mag possible. So it comes with a 40 round mag, which is all right. That's pretty decent for ground loot, but we have the option to go for the 50, which is really not going to cause us hardly any movement penalty. So I'd much rather get that extra 10 rounds in there and have a ever so slight penalty as opposed to just having that 40, because there's really not that many other options for attachments that you want to be able to run. So you should just go for a magazine. Don't recommend the 60. That's a little bit too big, and it's going to kind of slow you down a little bit too much. Now we're going back here and run the ZLR Combat. So this is going to help us out that recoil control, because we're not really running an underbarrel or a barrel or a compensator of some sort to be able to control it. So the ZLR Combat is going to kind of do that all in one for us, which is really nice. The tune on that's going to be a minus 0.32 and a minus 0.17. And then lastly, but definitely not least, the Demo RTX stock. So we had a massive boost to our crouch movement speed, sprint speed, and aim down sight speed, which is, you know, huge when you're trying to be effective at close range. And it's also not going to mess your recoil control too much. Like, you know, the collapse stock would absolutely chalk your recoil. It'd be terrible, but you could have a lot of movement. So I guess that's kind of the trade-off right there. But the tune on that's gonna be a minus 1.42 and a minus 1.70. So that's my full build there for the Vel 46, one of my favorite SMGs to run this season. And for our last gun in our top 5, we're gonna be taking a look at a hard-hitting battle rifle, aka the TAC V. So the big brother to the TAC 56. This is definitely a super hard-hitting gun, and you pair this kind of almost like as a top-tier gun along with the Cronin Squall. Those are both really, really good, but the TAC V, in my opinion, kind of edges it out ever so slightly, and I just actually really enjoy running it. This is a great gun to be able to use for those medium to longer range. Hits incredibly, incredibly hard as long as you're able to maintain your recoil control and hit those shots. You're going to be having great success here with the TAC V in Warzone. Now let's break it all down for you guys. Kind of just my general overview. I have the nice World Series of Warzone variant because they gave it out in a bundle a little while back. But first thing here is going to be the Sock and Tread 40 for that vertical and horizontal recoil control. This gun 110% needs a lot of recoil control to make it effective at those medium to long ranges because it likes to bounce quite substantially. The tune on that's going to be a plus 0.41 and a plus 0.14. Now we're gonna go up in here. We're gonna run the 18 precision barrel, increasing our damage range, hipfire accuracy, and bullet velocity. This is just making this more effective at those longer distances, so we really like that. The tune on that's gonna be a plus 0.35 and a plus 0.35 as well on the bottom. Now we're gonna go down here and run the tried and true F-Tac Gripper 56. So the F-Tac Gripper, you really just can't complain about this. It is so effective on so many different guns, giving you that aiming idle stability, hipfire accuracy for those guys that really need it, and recoil stabilization, which is the primary reason, of course, we really want to be able to run this. The tune on that's gonna be minus 0.28 and a plus 0.40, aka maxed out there on the bottom. Now we're gonna go down here and run the 50 round drum. So the 50 round drum is something you guys have to be able to run on this thing. There's no reason to ever go for the 30. I mean, if maybe we were running this as like a single fire, I could see the 30 being usable, but the 50 is definitely the way to go. And last but definitely not least, once again, the AIMOT V4, and I happen to have the purple reticle on this from one of my different bundles. I enjoy getting rid of that red dot and going for something else, whether it be the purple, the green, blue. I have a few different ones in there I like to alternate between, but definitely this is the way to go on this. And the tune on that is gonna be a minus 1.26 and max out on the bottom for that far distance. But like I said, far, close, it's up to you, personal preference on that one. That's my full build there for the TAC V. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to give it a like for the algorithm, subscribe for more, and I shall see you guys all later.